with Moses. Moses is a man of many character. Um, many. He has a long journey, and I'm just here to share it with you guys. And hopefully, you guys will learn something from this whole interview with Moses. But first of all, I'm going to start. Let Moses introduce himself to you. So, Moses, how are you today, buddy?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm grateful, buddy. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm alive. I'm well. I'm fit. Probably
Thank
healthy.
you for having. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. You look where you at. Look real sunny. Look real
I'm
clear.
in Florida. I'm in Florida. See,
Yeah.
I'm actually in a parking lot right across the street from a restaurant called Kyle G's in Jensen Beach. It was a friend of mine's birthday, and I hadn't seen my friend in over 25 years. And a friend of hers had found me on Facebook because I do monthly events here in the St. Lucie County area, and she found me on Facebook, and she says to her friend, "Hey, isn't this such and such?" And she was like, "Yeah." And so she found me after 25 years of not finding me, and her husband ended up inviting me to her birthday party, um, which was
Right.
at the restaurant, and now I'm able to do our call.
Okay. So Moses, first of all, today you're Moses. I want to know how you reached to this stage in life as Moses. How was your growing up, and where was that?
Well, I was born this way. as, as far as me being Moses, I was born Moses. As far as the name, and some people are able to carry a name. I mean, you look at various people's names. Alexander, like Alexander the Great, or Ramses, or Muhammad. There's so many people the name Muhammad, right? But the idea that the name carries the weight of the character is somewhat insignificant. So I was born with the name Moses. That's my actual
Right.
name.
Right.
That's
Okay,
my actual
Moses. All right. Tell me about growing up, Moses.
Well, I grew up in Flushing, Queens, New York.
Mhm.
Um, I so I'm getting a few text messages in. I grew up in Flushing, Queens, New York. I was raised in a Baptist like family culture. My dad
Okay.
he was a minister. My mom, she and I could say this because I understand who they have been, and I understand who they were intending to be. Um, so my mom played the role of an evangelist, and my dad played the role of a minister. Um, the way that they experienced themselves is quite the opposite of the roles that they played, which caused me to question the integrity of religion. So I was raised in a very religious environment. I went to a private Christian school for 8 years of my personal, childhood, from kindergarten to eighth grade, and then I went to a Christian academy for my ninth grade year, and I begged my dad to allow for me to move from Flushing, Queens, New York, to Port St. Lucie, Florida, which is where I'm at right now,
Okay.
um, because I was tired of doing the whole private school thing and wearing uniforms every day of my life, and seeing the same faces every single year, maybe one or two different. Um, so I wanted to experience some more diversity in my childhood years, and actually get a chance to have a girlfriend and get a chance to have phone calls with friends and do all those things. So I was never allowed. I was never allowed to do any of those things. So
In the Christian
that was
home,
that
huh?
was my huh.
In the Christian home, you're not allowed to do those things, huh? You got to put on the
I would say
murdering first.
I would say in any home that is culturally associated with a religion, whether it be Christian, Seventh Day Adventists, uh, Judaism, um, Buddhism, um, any home that is ingrained in the culture of the religion is in association with a form of suppression in some way or another. So generally, religion is used as a social form of discipline, versus
Right.
enlightenment, and that's the unfortunate part about it.
Right. So was both parents present in your life growing up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I was
how
very
was
blessed
that?
to have a mother and a father. Um,
Indeed.
I experienced a lot of fights. I experienced a lot of joy. I experienced a lot of togetherness, and I experienced them growing up too. Because even if we are adults, that doesn't mean that we've given our souls the opportunity to experience growth.
Okay. So what for my friends and my subscribers, I wanted to share with me because you have been in the music business, not really as as a foreman or a frontman or a rapper or actor, but you were in the background of it, most of it that we know about this day today. So I want to share, man, was this like something instilled in you, or you just bounced up in the right person at the right time?
I would say that being raised looking at music videos and seeing images like Puff Daddy and Boys to Men, and the award shows that you would see, Mariah Carey in, or back in the day Babyface, those different types of artists. It was intriguing to me to be in entertainment because Michael Jackson, Prince, it was intriguing to me to be in entertainment. And I had always wanted to be in entertainment from a performer side, but I never had the confidence to believe that what I was able to, or that what I was giving to people and what I was able to give to people was valuable enough for me to be a star. Let's just put it like that. Okay.
Okay,
And throughout all of my years, I've done everything to be accepted, to be a part of something. And it wasn't
right.
until uh, I had felt like I had reached the pinnacle of my business career that I made the choice to move away from doing business, and segue into entertainment, which I knew nothing about. Nothing. I had recently just purchased a house in Silmar, California, and I was dibble dabbling in doing some uh, um, showcase events for no name artists, and I
Mm-hmm.
had a little bit of money to like put on these showcase events. And at one of the events, one of my really close friends, she knew a hip hop artist by the name of Little Zane,
Right.
and Little Zane was
So,
like way back.
so what age group was this for you at this time? Well, how old was it?
I was 30, 32.
Okay.
Wait, no, sorry. About 34, about 34, 35. I was about 34, 35 years old. I had just finished uh, stepping out of the wireless accessory industry, and I was effectively an operations manager for a law firm in Encino, and I just wanted to get out of traditional business, and I wanted to live a little. I wanted to not
Yeah.
have to punch in on the clock. I wanted to, you know, be in entertainment. Honestly, I really wanted to be in entertainment because I knew that that was an area that I wanted to be in.
Right.
And so I just took my little pennies and started to do these little showcase events. And I remember spending like $600 or $700 on putting, working out a relationship with a studio. And based upon the relationship, they allowed me to do the showcase. And then I spent a little bit of money on having a light show, and then buying a bottle of vodka to raffle off to the winner of the showcase. And it was just whatever I could do to just feel like I was in entertainment. And I did
So
that.
so you were more like an agent?
I was literally just a guy that was spending money on a stage so that other people can perform on it. And I
Okay,
didn't really
okay.
know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what I was
That's a
doing.
start. That's a start.
Okay. And one of my friends, she invited little Zane because he was her friend.
Right.
And then he saw the production of it and he was like, "Who's doing this?" And she was like, "My friend is Moses." He's like, "Well, if you're doing this, you can help me in my career. I'm little Zane." And I was like, "I don't know how I can help you because all I'm doing is this. I don't know. I don't have any connections. I don't know any label people. I don't know nothing." And working with him for about a year, I had helped him get together a couple of projects. Nothing really panned out per se, but
Hmm.
based upon my association with him, I was able to meet the woman that I ended up interning for her company. And she is the one that did all of the years. She was in the entertainment industry for 12, 15 years. And she
Right.
had clients that were like really big, clients like CeeLo Green and the Goody Mob and E40 and all these celebrities. And
Right.
she did the publicity for them. She would she would get their information on websites and expose their art, whatever it
Right.
was that they were working on. She would expose that. And I met her at a mansion party in Hollywood because little Zane's friend knew her, and I walked up
At a
to her when she
mansion
was
party.
getting at a mansion party in Hollywood, and
Question
believe
about that
me,
mansion party.
say what?
Question about that mansion party. Is that mansion party like what is being told over the media? That
Like what?
these
What's being
mansion
told over me?
party, well, there's a few channel that talks about these Hollywood mansion parties, which you got rooms that are separately closed for rituals, sexual rituals, uh, etc., etc.
Yeah,
Did you
no.
ever?
I mean, so depending on who's at the party, okay, you don't need to
Oh,
be in Hollywood to to be a part of a sex party. There's actually communities that have swinger communities that do sex parties all the time that have absolutely nothing to do with Hollywood. But in Hollywood, in and of itself, there are parties that incorporate certain levels of sexual activity, depending, right? But most parties don't. It's just networking. Um,
right,
you have celebrities moving around. You have bottles that are popping. You've got music that's popping. You've got cameras that are there to take pictures. Stuff like that. Now, depending on the level of the celebrity or what that celebrity has a desire for their party to be like, now you have the variabilities and the experiences that happen at those parties. You understand?
right,
So, from a secret society standpoint, you don't really see those things in public. But
Got to.
behind the scenes, if de- depending on what it is, and I've never been a part of any secret society experiences besides the Masonic Order, which there's rituals that are associated with the Masonic Order, but it has absolutely nothing to do with sexuality. Now,
Right.
there's other sects, SECTS, that have sexuality incorporated into the work that's being done, but most often those variations of those experiences are happening because of the individual's ego, whoever's in charge of that
Mm.
sect. You
The
understand what I'm
planner.
saying? Right, right. So, no, I've done hundreds of activations in Hollywood, and there was never anything like, oh, somebody's getting their throat cut so that we can have eternal life. No, no, nothing like that.
Okay, okay. Now that to clear that up. Okay. All right. So you were in Hollywood and so you went around. Did you like, were you literally in charge of anyone's career? Like push that person
Everybody,
forward?
everybody's, everyone that was a client of mine. Yes,
Yeah?
clients are like Black China, Amber Rose, E40, Too Short, Rich Homie Quan, Trinidad James,
Cool.
DJ Drama, Twista, um, Eric Bellinger. I mean, the list kind of goes on and on. So yeah, everybody's
Why did you quit?
because of the individuals that were coming to me that didn't have a name, and they felt the hope that based upon the alignment of their brand with our firm, that they would be able to move the the meter on the sales of their projects. And I worked tirelessly to make sure that the efforts that we were contributing to these individuals' lives were effective and meaningful, right?
Right.
For the bottom line, like to actually see their bottom line move. And although we have had some successful campaigns, you know, like
Right.
the majority we have no control over. Let's just put it that way, right? No matter if we get somebody on the front page of Double XL magazine, or if we have somebody on the front page of the Source magazine, or if they have a full spread in LA Weekly magazine, or if they've got a quarter page, you know, story about them in the New York Times, it never made a difference on their bottom line. But we would get paid a shitload of money.
Mm.
So I started to, and that's our job. But it's not the publicist or the campaign management's job to sell the product. But we are definitely there to bolster the sales of the product. So I didn't feel confident in the results. Even though the
On
results
your
were,
side or on the company side?
it didn't matter, just for the results for the client. You know,
Mm.
and at the end of the day, I find more joy in helping someone and knowing that they are getting the results that they desire. You know, and that's the work that I do now.
Right. Okay. So now we have a little of your past. So we want to know what you're doing now because I want to let your my subscriber know literally what you're doing for health consciousness, for longer living, for successful living and endurance. So I want to tell us what have you been up to? Like what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm sitting in my car having a conversation with you. But what I do in my life, I've got quite a few things. Christopher, right?
Yeah,
I do quite a few things. Years ago, I learned that you don't have to do one thing in order to be successful, right? So a lot of people, they pride themselves in, well, I'm a clinically certified hypnotherapist. That's what I do, right? But theoretically speaking, I do a lot of things that allow for me to be a clinically certified hypnotherapist that impacts people's minds, to allow for them to break through the resistance of their subconscious to experience the life that they desire. Okay. So I have multiple Airbnbs. I'm an investor. I'm a handyman. I can build you a house if you wanted me to build you a house.
that's
You know,
Moses right there.
right? So at the end of the day, I'm a jack of all trades, and I master a lot of those trades.
That's
And the
nice.
trade that I am passionate about is what I'm here to do, and that's to allow for people to understand and to understand that they have the ability to use their consciousness to establish the reality of their lives, and also to experience the result of using their consciousness to establish the reality of their lives, right? So taking it from a theoretical standpoint to an experiential standpoint, taking it from belief to experience, right? Like that's what I'm here to do, is to
So
allow
Moses,
people to be in direct alignment with divinity.
when you say consciousness, can I break down what you mean to break to transform from your consciousness to reality? Can you break it down a little bit?
Yeah, everything that we say and everything that we think establishes the reality that we exist in. The reason why we're not able to do that effortlessly is because our subconscious, which is about 88% of our genetic programming, keeps us in a space of familiarity. Okay? So when
Hmm.
people try to do something outside of what they're programmed to do, the subconscious draws them back into the space of their familiar programming, which has been done most often from the time where you're born up until you're around 10 or 11 years old. And after that, if you've experienced trauma through love or through verbal, emotional, or physical abuse or spiritual abuse, then that trauma ensues and gets reprogrammed into your subconscious, which therefore causes people to live an alternative reality than the reality that they may have been aware of as their intuitive state. Okay? So I help people become aware of those things and become accountable for those things. And I use the modality of hypnotherapy to bypass the critical mind so that people can have their subconscious mind reprogrammed in order to experience consciousness, or at least the result of consciousness. We're all able to experience consciousness, right? Like you wake up, you walk outside, you go to the beach, you experience peace, you experience serenity, you experience being grounded. That's consciousness, that's awakening. But see, our lives aren't often led by consciousness because our subconscious runs the program of our lives. Stress, anxiety, uncertainty, doubt, depression, jealousy, like all these things are part of our subconscious programming from generations through space and time. So we get an opportunity once we are able to remove that critical blockage. We
All
get
right.
the opportunity to recondition our subconscious mind based upon our conscious, the utilization of our consciousness, what we say, what we think, knowing that we can alter the experience of our life by altering what we say and what we think. You see, we don't all need to be awakened. We can actually just use the formula and it be effective. See, what you say and what you think can only alter your reality if your physical body feels the neurological frequencies of what's being said and thought. You see, which is why when you dream and you wake up from that dream, you're still in the physical experience of that dream, right? Because your physical body believed that it was having sex. the entire night, or that you were flying the entire night, or that you were being beaten up the entire night, or you were being raped, or whatever it is. Your physical body believes that it experienced what it had just recently gone through, which is why we wake up feeling the effects of our dreams, right?
Right.
So the subconscious is the subconscious is our reality, but our consciousness has the ability to alter our subconscious. So therefore, when we become alive, when we become awakened, when we become unhypnotized per se, right? Because that's really what it is. When we become
Mm-hmm.
unhypnotized, then we're able to reconfigure our lives using our consciousness, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we're unable to do that until we become aware of it, accountable for it, and to have some hypnosis done, have some energy work done to clear away those blockages that keep us imprisoned, in the space of our own minds.
So those blockage you talk about, are those blockage spiritually, or are those blockage that can be physically?
Everything, everything. You have to remember that we're stuck to a globe that's suspended within space and time. Even though we're in an orbit, we're still suspended in the middle of space and time. So everything that you experience from physical, spiritual, energy, it's all energy. Your body
Yeah.
is equivalent to energy, broken down to its atoms and molecules. It's energy. It's moving, right? It's 90 some odd
Right.
percent water. It's moving. It's energy, right? So your form that you experience as your body, it's all moving. It's all energy. So if we can allow for ourselves to understand that, you know, not only from a belief standpoint but from a scientific standpoint, it's something that we're able to observe from a scientific standpoint, just from magnification, then we can know that energy is the source of everything. And what you're experiencing, what people experience as stress, anxiety, suppression, doubt, misery, pain, love, happiness, joy, peace, right? Excitement, passion, right? All
Mm-hmm.
of those things, it's all energy. It's all energy, right? So when we effectively know how to manage that energy using our mind, paying attention to our soul, and healing our heart, then we're able to live effectively. We're able to live life effectively, and that's the work that I do. That's what I teach people how to do.
So you can only do that through hypnosis, or there's other ways to do that, or that's most
So many
effective.
ways, so many ways. There's been books from 1930s, not earlier. The book of the Bible. Look at the Bible. Look at the
Right.
Quran. Look at the lost articles of the Sanskrit scripts, right? Like all of it has everything to do with divinity, with the power of thought, with the power of word. In Genesis, which is probably the newest literary capture of it, right? The
Right.
word is God. The word was with God. I mean, it says it plain right there, right? God is love, right?
Literally, yeah.
What is
Yeah.
God? I am. I am that I am, right? So what is that? That's I. It's not some being that's sitting with the gray beard, with the lightning bolt staff, with his son sitting to his right. It's not. If we can just allow for ourselves to know that the energy that we exist in is the existential energy of divine, right? It's keeping all of these planets that we could never imagine to hold up in orbit through magnetism, through space, through time, you know. And we can allow for ourselves to experience ourselves through that consciousness, because this plastic on this car, or this onyx, or this gold doesn't have consciousness. It's not able to use. It's not able to express or experience consciousness. Human beings are able to do that. Dogs aren't. You can smack a dog in the face, and then it will come up and it will love you a second later. Okay,
Right.
you can kill off colonies of ants, and they'll still do their best to grow. They're not blaming anybody for killing and demolishing their colony. You understand? So we experience consciousness, which means that we have the gift of creation, which is why I'm able to communicate with you on YouTube live and see your cellular image and hear your cellular voice, right? Because we are creators. The ants didn't do that. The dogs didn't do that. The gorillas didn't do
Right.
that. Human beings did that. You understand that?
Right.
So we are creators. And if we can become accountable and remove the distraction of what media and social media and medical and religion and schools have ingrained in us as what we are is not enough,
I
we can
totally
experience
agree
the
with you.
power of God. We can experience the power of God.
So, Moses, we are living in a time right now where there's so much destruction and people are losing their mind mentally. It's even getting physical, but it's mostly mental because a lot of people ain't prepare their mind mentally because, as I said, everything is energy. A lot of people have been waking up to that right now to find out everything has to be done in the physical, in the spiritual before it manifests physically. So I want you to. It has been proven, especially in this country that I know of, that men are being depressed most than the other, which is woman. I want. What do you think is causing that, Moses?
What do I think about men being more depressed than women?
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I would
I
I
saw it
would
in the
say that.
article the other day.
So I wouldn't say from a sexual standpoint, physical sexual standpoint, that holds any form of validity. You know, they'll say anything in media, right? You know, when COVID first came out, they're like black people get COVID
Yeah.
easier
Yeah.
than white people, right? Like
Right. Right.
we we're unable to truly believe what we hear in media. Okay, let's just put that there. Now,
Right.
what do I think about what you said? If there were to be an explanation as to why men are experiencing depression, it's because men are finally tapping into their feminine energy. Okay, and and the reason why I say that is because the majority of men that have been experiencing life here on this planet have been doing so inauthentically, pretending to be strong, pretending to be okay. And they've noticed that the muscle of a man, the force of a man is ineffective. So they're experiencing isolation, they're experiencing loneliness,
Right. Right.
right? And based upon that experience, they've been forced to deal with it,
Hmm.
you see? And not only men, Christopher, women too, human beings.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
You know,
true.
we are being forced to deal with our own souls, with our own self, because we are becoming aware that blaming other people for our experience of life is causing us to continuously experience the same experience. So people are
Right.
realizing that I can only count on me. I can only control me. I'm doing everything for this other person. I'm giving them everything they want. I'm fucking the shit out of them. Excuse me for anybody that's on the live that maybe underage. Okay, but I'm doing everything that I know that I can do to make this person love me, and I'm still not experiencing being loved. That's the problem,
Right.
and that's what people are breaking.
Wait a minute. Volume just left. It seems we have lost Moses. Hopefully, you can rejoin us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing it, but I'm not seeing it.
I can't hear you.
You're not hearing me? Yeah, seems we lost Moses. So yeah, it has really, it's really stressful right now for a lot of people out there. Relationships are sinking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm not seeing it though. You hearing me? Moses.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Moses. Oh, there it is. Well, it froze up.
You're able to hear me now?
Ah, yeah.
Awesome.
There is. There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moses. So where were we? Yeah, we were discussing about the depression which is hitting us right now worldwide. And it's multiple things, but in my opinion, I think there's a big, there's a huge, and I think it's spiritual that's really hitting relationships, especially marriages. What's your opinion on that, Moses?
You said say that one more time.
I think there's a big, um, I think there's a spiritual hit for relationships, and I think it's, I would say it's mostly, or it's pointed to marriages, and I have a lot of friends, families, and even myself go through a struggle in the relationship, and I realize it's getting more tense. And I just want to hear your opinion on that, and what you think. There's a shift, and it's so vibrant. It's so visible. The shift is visible.
People are tired of suppressing themselves, Chris. People are tired of pretending. People are tired of living inauthentic lives.
Meaning,
And
it,
people are becoming a little bit more courageous in the idea of what it looks like to be self-dependent, not
hmm.
codependent. You see? So so
Ain't that the truth?
what that causes is, for most, is isolation, because they're afraid to interact in a relationship based off of the fear of being hurt, disappointed, or betrayed. So they find themselves in isolation, which I have become aware is a form of pseudo self love.
Pseudo self-love.
It's not real love, it's not real self love. You see, an individual is only truly able to understand what it is to be self dependent when they are in a codependent experience. You see, unless you have someone there that you're in a relationship with, you're unable to truly experience the results from a self dependent reality. It's impossible. You can always be by yourself. You'll always, people can always date. People can always keep people at an arm's length, keep the boundaries up, like all those things. It's ineffective because boundaries allude to that there's something to be protected. And when people
That's
actually get
true.
into the awareness that when people, hi Misha, uh, when people actually get, hold on, I'm losing your photo because of the comments. I want to look at you. I don't care about looking at myself. Let me see if I
Okay.
can swap this.
It
Okay,
said
maybe,
me. Misha said the people are taking off the mask.
yeah. So, so I wish that I can still see you. Hold on a second. Let me see. Orientation is locked. Can you can you see me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Um, so so what happens is that people, most say that they are loving themselves, are afraid of interacting with other human beings. Okay. When we are able to experience what it is to establish self as source, then we'll discover that there is nothing to be afraid of, because vulnerability is the access to indestructibility. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
Okay. So, what I
Okay.
do is I work with people so that they can truly become accountable for their experience of love, therefore heightening their vibration, heightening their frequency, so that they can experience love through the reflection of the love that they have experienced and established with themselves. You see?
Mm.
So that's the work. And then when you are able to do that, you're able to interact with whoever you want, because when you experience yourself and establish yourself as the source of your love, then you expect nothing from anyone. Everyone can be exactly the way that they are, and you can be the way that you are, and the only time that you interact in a relationship is when you choose to. And if you are in a committed relationship, then that committed relationship is established through choice, not through circumstance. Not because I need you to make me feel good. Not because you have money, then I feel stable. Not because, oh, I'm able to have sex with you, so therefore I'm going to settle for you being an abusive person, or being strung off on drugs, or being a spendthrift, or being irresponsible, or being reliant on me for everything in your life, or not being accountable for your job or your position or your life or your children or anything like that. I'm not going to settle for your inadequate behavior based upon the idea of what I feel you will be able to provide for me that I'm unable to provide for myself. That's the removal of codependency.
Moses, are you seeing me perfectly?
I can
because
see you. I can see
you're
you, but I
pro.
think that I'm frozen.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And
So
I'm fine with that because I don't really care what I look like
okay.
as long as you can see me.
So so in other words, Moses, you're saying people most relation. You hearing me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So in other words, you're saying that people relationships are being broken and damaged because people as they're not yet in love with their self.
Well, no,
Are
no,
they
not
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 they,
not not because of that. It's because people have a desire to be in love with themselves because they realize that the love that they are interacting with is ineffective. So it takes bravery, it takes courage, it takes risk for you to go beyond what you think is normal, for you to actually experience what is possible. You see? And people are actually stepping into what's possible versus what is normal. And that's the difference between the subconscious and the conscious. It's what's normal versus what is possible.
hmm. That's a good one. That's a that's 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 a good one. So i- in your aspect, in that part of what you're doing right now through hypnosis by helping people to find their true self, what is the main thing that people come for to you for help with in their life?
I get so many clients that are heartbroken, that are confused,
Through love?
that, well, through love, through parental conditioning, people that are confused with what they want to do with their lives, people that feel stuck, people that,
You know, they don't know what they want to do or how they want to do it, but they know that what they're doing is ineffective. People that want to lose weight or get healthier, you know, have more energy. People that want to quit a habit, whether it be eating too many candies or eating or smoking cigarettes or uh, uh, being angry. You know, being angry can be a habit. You understand?
Mm,
So there's so many things that people come to me for. People come to me because they're not able to have children, you know, but they want to get pregnant, but they're not fertile. So they come and they get work done on that, and then they end up having a baby, you know, or
hmm
getting their not having a baby, but getting their period, getting their menstrual cycle, getting fertile, like actually conceiving and being pregnant. Um, so many different avenues that people can come to me through. But most often, I get the people that have been doing all of the work for and with themselves and have not been able to establish an effective result. And then they come to me, and then they get the result that they want. You know, within like 1 or 2 sessions. I would say about 96 to 97% of my clients leave after 1 or 2 sessions acquiring what they came in for.
Okay. So is this like something they gotta keep up or once they're fixed, it's fixed? Or this is gonna be a part of their lifestyle.
Yeah, so because hypnotherapy allows for suggestions to be implanted in the subconscious, depending on an individual's suggestibility, it could be just a 1 session thing, it could be a 2 session
Hmm
thing. Now I've been able to extend my practice into it being 1 or 2 sessions a month and continuous conversations throughout the week. So, you know, I have some mindfulness clients that I coach them in effective living. So I use hypnotherapy as a modality to experience breakthroughs in the areas of their lives that they were stuck in, and then I use the additional coaching to allow for them to continuously discover new aspects of themselves to break through, so they can continue to enhance the experience of their lives. Because when you open up your eyes and you see that your life is limitless, then you have the ability to continue the work. Because none of us, I don't care if you are Jay-Z, I don't care if you are President Obama, Trump, Biden, Reagan, Clinton, I don't care if you are a global leader of a country, I don't care if you're Elon Musk or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or any other owner of some multi-billion-dollar establishment. There is always work to do on self,
All right.
which is why people are becoming more aware of the benefit of spiritual growth. And if you look at spiritual growth in association with neurological alignment and physical manifestation, then you can see that we are limitless, which is once again why we're talking on a YouTube live, right? Whereas less than 50 years ago, the communication would have been impossible.
That's true.
Impossible. People were still using chords to communicate with their voices alone. And even
Yeah.
so, they had to go through another channel for somebody else to connect them with wires. Now we're
Yeah.
wireless,
We're evolving.
right? So the next step is for us to be able to do this kinetically, energetically, telepathically, which is what we've been able to do for generations way before our existence. Because we know here that we've only existed for a certain period of time. But we also know, based upon archaeological findings and scientific evidence, that we've existed for billions of years, as far as the world, as far as the universe, as far as light and the transmission of light. We've existed for billions of years. So if you just
All right.
take what we have done within the last 100 years and you multiply it another 1,000 years in the direction that we're going in, you can imagine that we would be self-destructing, right? And if we self-destruct and we kill off everybody, what's going to happen with everything that we have established out there in orbit? It will disintegrate, because matter disintegrates with space and time. So there is nothing left for proof besides what we have found embedded in our Earth. Okay? So, which is why we're able to see cities underwater that have technology that we still have yet to understand, right? It's because we've existed time and time and time and time and time and time and time, even on this planet. Okay? So
Mm-hmm.
if the cavemen that existed on Earth had nothing to do with the societies that existed underneath the water, where the hell did the cavemen come from? Right? So we're able to truly understand that we are a continuous process of evolution, you know? And the more that we try to make sense of it, the less likely it will be for us to fully embrace it. When we can just live through the experience of our lives, knowing that what we think and what we say transform our realities, then we can be free from the logic associated with that. And we can just live in that experience. We can experience happiness. We can experience joy. We can experience prosperity. We can experience togetherness, because we are aware that what we say and what we think establishes the reality of our lives. And that's the work that we're doing.
Mm. So you think that we as human beings need to be more connected to our spiritual being?
It's impossible for us to not be connected to it because we're suspended in it. You understand? Right? So So because we are suspended in space and time, we can't separate from it. For us to become aware of it and then become accountable for it is where the magic begins. We are all it.
Mm.
This bottle is consciousness, my friend. It's not conscious. It's God. It's atoms and molecules. It's got water in it. It's got water in it. We're made up of all this stuff that's in this bottle, okay? But this bottle is not able to think. This bottle is not able to speak. You understand? So this bottle cannot create another bottle.
Right.
You understand?
Totally.
We can create another human being. The animals can create other animals, okay? But the animals can't speak. They can only instinctively interact in survival. That's why animals only survive. You will never see a gorilla building a house. It only has the ability to survive.
Yeah, it's not in their
Okay?
instinct. Yeah.
It's not in their instinct. Their instinct is to survive. All right? You will never see a monkey with a safe of bananas. Their instinct is only to survive. Understand? So human
True.
beings, we have consciousness. We've got the ability to create intentionally, not instinctively. You see, a bird, a spider, they can create beautiful designs that will allow for them to survive. Okay? We are able to create based upon thought and creation from nothing. And we're able to grow and build and expand and take over,
Yeah.
because we have consciousness
Mm.
and we have the ability to express and experience consciousness.
So we're so all of us got a spiritual side, literally. So the thing is, your job is to make people aware of that side, and by
And
getting
accountable for it.
and accountable. So when they get these two steps, that brings a clearer thought to their mental, and that open up possibility of health,
That's when I
wealth.
that's when I hypnotize them. That's when I hypnotize. See, we can't get to the hypnosis until there's a cognitive awakening.
Okay. So it's like they got to first admit there's a problem.
No, they have to first become aware of the solution. And the solution is themselves.
Man, this is deep, Moses. This is deep. This is deep. Yeah.
That's why
I'm a
that's why
spirit.
we're talking. That's why
Yeah,
we're
I'm a
talking.
spiritual guy as well. I try because I was born and raised, well, not really born and raised, but I've always lived close to a church until I literally become part of a church. And then that's where I learned about my spiritual side. But it wasn't really of effect until now, like since probably about when I was 20, I literally saw the world was spiritual. I tapped in spiritual and saw that everything that man is doing and has done has to be manifest in the spiritual first before it can be physically. And a lot of people are going through that now. A lot of people are seeking physicians. A lot of people are seeking people like you to help them tap in to that part, which lead them to a free state of mind and
Freedom, yeah.
wealth and health.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the conversation can morph and form into so many different things, but at the end of the day, the experience of oneself is the only thing that matters. after this body decays and it goes back into being a contribution to our planet through dust, through dirt, through matter,
Yeah.
right? The only thing that matters is the experience of our souls, which is why the universe continues to expand. You see, as far as human beings are concerned, we have not been able to scientifically observe the other sides of the black holes, right? But we've been able to scientifically observe all of the galaxies and solar systems that are within the galaxies within our universe. But we always get stopped when we enter into like a black hole or anything that connects other universes to other universes, right? Because our universe is a plane. You understand? So
Right.
our soul, our soul energy can move through all of those different planes, which is why the only thing that's observed in these black holes is sound, because energy is the only thing that can pass through. Matter can't break through, right? So, it's interesting that we are on this journey of consciousness, because the only way to tap into various dimensions, various galaxies, various planets within the various solar systems that's within the various galaxies that are within the various universes is to use our consciousness. That's the only way, because our consciousness is tapped into divinity. Our body is designed to experience energy, which is why we have memories, even in our waking state. People classify it as deja vu or whatever. But we
That's true.
remember moments, man. Like, you can't tell me any different. Not one human being that's on this planet can tell me that they have not experienced a moment where they knew they were in a space and they know that they've never been in that space before. We
That's
can't
true.
we can't continue we can't continue to gloss over those things.
And that's why they come up with the word deja vu, right?
Yeah, to explain the
What
unexplainable.
happened? Yep, totally. So you believe Moses, you believe when we dream, you think that we teleported somewhere to another state of mind?
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily teleporting. We just remove the limitation of our physical body and the law of gravity. You see, gravity doesn't impact energy. The sun, the light, everything can move free from gravity. Gravity impacts matter, which is why our planets need to be rock, right? They need to be
Right,
matter. It needs to be metal, because gravity impacts matter. Gravity doesn't impact energy. So when we sleep and this matter is shut down, our energy is free to do whatever the hell it wants to do. You see?
hmm,
When we allow for ourselves to be still and we tap into that soul, we tap into that mind, then it's the same thing. We can do whatever we want to do, right? So we have to become aware that, like, the management of time is not equivalent to the understanding of it. So we can't expect for when I say Chris, I want $1 million, right?
hmm,
For it to like pop up in front of us, because our ability to establish our matter still takes time, and the time is variable, which is why time continues to move regardless of the impact of matter.
right,
Okay? So if you can just know that the experience of knowing that what you desire is being experienced now, then you will detach yourself from the limitations of time. So you and I both know that there's multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. They have money, they've got houses, they've got everything, but they don't have happiness, right? There's people
right,
that live in the middle of Ghana, or Zimbabwe, in like, small communities in India, in certain parts of China and Tibet, that live in like in Alaska, that live in like huts and small places where they have a lot of people, but they're experiencing happiness and joy, but they don't have $5 to rub together. Okay, so we know
right,
that 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 matter, like physical, material property, has no impact on the experience of the soul. But what we do know also is that the soul impacts the experience of our lives. So if we can now become aware that what we've been working so hard to achieve is actually able to be experienced without the external validity of what we think we need in order to experience fulfillment, then we can exist in wealth, we can exist in prosperity, we can exist in happiness, we can exist in joy without having to have the metal around us saying you are wealthy, without having to have the paper in an account or the numbers in an account that say you are wealthy, without
Right.
having to have a partner that's drop dead gorgeous in order for you to believe that you are confident, without having to have children in a home in order for you to believe that you have family, right? You're able to experience family, connectivity, joy, happiness, peace of mind, wealth, prosperity, fulfillment within you based upon the experience and the expression of your soul. And that's what manifestation is the experience of it. Because people can get everything and still not experience happiness and still not
That's
experience
true.
joy when that truly is what's desired, right? So so manifestation is just that, is to know that what you are desiring is being experienced now from an energetic standpoint, you see?
Mm.
And then the material things, they happen because they mean nothing. They're nothing. They're nothing. It's just a reflection of the energy that you are already experiencing from within.
Mm. Right. Okay. That's that. That was pretty deep. That was pretty deep, Moses. Damn,
So
it's over a whole already. Damn, time is flying.
yeah.
So we gotta do a part two, Moses. But before we close off, Moses, um I want you I wanted to share with my subscribers because you're a businessman, and not only a businessman, you're a black businessman, and you're healthy and you're wealthy, and you share with us how come you reach to that point. Now I wanted to share with my audience the first step towards making their self a wealthy, not as in not as in things wealthy, but wealth with health. I want to share with them the
Yeah,
first step they got to do to approach that lane, to step over that barrier.
yeah. So I say three things, and that's be God, be love, and be you. If you follow that simple step, those simple steps, then everything that you experience in your life, you'll be complete with.
What was that
You'll be
again?
complete
Big.
with. Be God, be love, be you.
All right,
And
break down those summit, Moses.
so keep in mind that God, love, and you are all the same, right?
Yeah.
So if you allow for yourself to experience yourself as being complete now, exactly where you are, exactly where you are, then you'll have the freedom and the clarity to create whatever that next moment is, whatever that next intention is. But until you are able to accept yourself exactly the way that you are, then you'll never be
Hmm.
able to reach a place of fulfillment. You see, people think that well, being successful in business, discover what you enjoy doing. You may be a great writer. You may be a great car washer. You may be a great garbage man. You may be a great painter. You may be a great uh, manager. Who knows? Whatever it is that you are doing right now in your life, you may be a great lazy person.
that To be good at
You
it.
understand? You understand? You have to allow for yourself to experience yourself the way that you are and be honest about that in order for you to be able to break through and experience what you truly desire. Because what you desire is already being experienced and sourced from within. There's just an idea that something outside of you will be able to trigger that or be able to open that. Just be it. Whatever it is that you think that you want to do what those people do. Because they too are doing the simple things in life that you may not be willing to do because you haven't truly defined what matters to you. You see, I'm honest. I don't like working hard. So you know what? I'll tell you when I actually had a breakthrough with my financial freedom. When I was honest with myself and I said I do not like working hard, but I like to earn a lot of money. So I want to earn a lot of money, not working hard. That's exactly what I said to myself. And then I asked myself, Moses, what are you good at? And the only thing that I could answer myself was love. That was it. That's the only thing that I'm good at. I'm great at other things. I'm masterful in so many things. But
Yeah.
I know that I'm good at love. I know that that's something that comes natural. It's what I really enjoy doing is love, and that's what I make
Mm.
money doing now, teaching people how to love themselves. You see, but it didn't happen until I was clear and truthful with myself, and I wasn't trying to work hard in order to achieve something outside of me in order to fulfill the void in me. I wasn't trying to do something that was uncomfortable in order for the hopes of me to achieve something that I thought would be comfortable. I just existed within my discomfort and established my comfort through honesty, through integrity. So if I want to less,
You there?
I want to do. Doing that, and it was with Napoleon Hill. Not Think and Grow Rich. As a matter of fact, it was an audio lesson, a 10-hour audio lesson that I had listened to, and in there, Napoleon Hill was talking.
On the audio left. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy this live. And definitely, this was more like, oh, he's back. Yeah. Yep. There you
Okay,
go. There you go.
yeah. So regardless if you have a penny, a dollar, $1,000, $100, or $1,000,000 coming in your direction, it's all coming from in the same direction, and that's towards you. So from that moment, I decided to establish multiple revenue streams, regardless if it was $5, $10, $20, $100. I established multiple revenue streams, and that's how I was able to establish my financial freedom. You know, is to know that everything that I was doing because I wanted to do it, not because I felt like I had to do it. Okay, and taking the time to establish the patience, right? To establish the patience, to establish the purpose, okay, allowed for
Mhm.
me to experience this stability at this state of my life. I'm 46 years old. You know, I take care of my mom. You know, I don't expect anything outside of myself to provide for myself. So everything that I do, I only do because I'm choosing to, not because I have to, because I'm choosing to. You understand? And that's really an access to wealth, is to be able to do the things that you choose to based upon what you have defined matters to you, not what
All
you
right.
think you need to do in order to survive, because that's the cycle of misery, you see.
Trying to
And
survive.
it takes patience, you know, it takes patience and it takes consistency. But outside of that, you don't need anything else besides your soul and your mind and your words. And things will literally just happen. The doors will open for you. Life will become exactly what you desire. as long as you know that what you're thinking and what you're saying have a direct result on the reality that you are experiencing. All right?
Thank you so much, Moses, for your wise words, brother.
Wonderful, man.
Thank you, and I really appreciate it. And we definitely do a part two, couple months in the future, definitely,
Wonderful.
and see where you're at. I just want to
Wonderful.
say one love, one peace, brother. Drive safe.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Chris. Blessings to you.
All right, bye
All right.
bye.
Bye bye.